Namaste, my beautiful and amazing soul family. It's Annette, aka Shorty Love. I'm back with a light language today for healing and liberating ourselves from addictions, freeing ourselves from addictions, and needing anything outside of self in order to feel whole, in order to feel validated, in order to feel complete. So I've had this one on the list for a very long time. But to be quite honest, I realized that many of us, including myself, we all have addictions, fam. We all have a vice or sorts of vices that we turn to throughout our journey in order to help ourselves, to relieve ourselves of any stress and anxiety, of anywhere where we may be almost self-punishing. Sometimes having an addiction is a form of self-punishment because we feel that by being addicted to something outside of the self that makes us feel better, we're able to suppress and we're able to repress all the feelings and emotions that we're not wanting to deal with, and in turn we're sort of punishing ourselves and abusing ourselves at the exact same time because we feel lesser than for relying on something outside of ourselves, for being addicted to something outside of the self. And for a long time on my journey, for me, in the early stages of my awakening journey, I realized I was addicted to sugar at times when I was stressed. So at times when I felt really stressed from my environment, from the people around me, from the discord in the vibrations of myself and those around me, and from the neglect and the rejection and the abandonment that I would feel from being in those environments, I would turn to sugar to get that quick hit, that quick high, that quick sense of validation, that quick approval, that quick appreciation of self that would really just last for as long as the sugar would last, and then when it comes down, you kind of come down with it. So that was something that I realized, and it also contributed to an ailment called candida that I learnt how to heal from, and that I allowed myself to really go into that process. That was the first time I really did a full-on gut cleanse, a full-on major body detox, and understood that candida overgrowth happens from consuming too much sugar. And so sugar was one of those things from when I was little all the way up until that stage of my journey where I realized I would turn to that in order to get that quick hit, and in order to make myself feel better, give myself some sort of comfort in times when I felt really neglected or in times when I felt really misunderstood by my surroundings. And as I healed from that addiction, as I healed the candida, because when you start to heal your candida, when you start to drink things like powder arco tea, which is really, really good for balancing out your candida levels, you automatically come into this space of not really needing anything outside of yourself and not really even craving that thing that you turn to in order to help yourself feel better. And you also heal the part of you that feels like you want to be understood. See, for a really long time on my journey, my personal journey, I felt really misunderstood and I wanted to be understood. And as I healed those aspects of myself and began the internal process as well as the physical and mental process, because as I always say, it's mind, body and soul, mind, body, spirit. It's a holistic thing. And when you approach your healing in a holistic way, then you realize that the things that were tying you to those addictions, those patterns of behavior, those limiting belief systems slowly start to fade away. And in that process, I realized I no longer really need to be understood, because in that process, I could understand myself. I learned how to understand myself. I learned how to understand my body better, connect to my body better, connect to my mind better. I understood where these thought forms and programs and patterns and conditioning was coming from. I understood that other people not understanding me was not a reflection of me. It was simply because I hadn't yet fully understood myself, or accepted and integrated aspects of myself that I felt like were weird or not accepted by society or not normal. I hadn't integrated my own ability to heal. I hadn't integrated the parts of me that are actually divine gifts, that are actually really unique and special. I thought there was something wrong with me for being the way that I am, for loving the way that I do, for wanting to care and wanting to give and having compassion. I thought there was something wrong with that, so I shoved it down and suppressed it, and I got into defense mode, and I got into my masculine energy, and I built up all these walls, and I basically caged myself in. And then I was even more misunderstood, because then people like couldn't understand the energy at all. I had completely shut myself off. So when I shut myself off, it was a blessing in disguise, because I got a chance to go within, and I got a chance to really understand myself, spend time with myself, understand why I had these addictions, why I had these certain attachment styles, where they came from. And so that's just a little, me veering off as always, telling my little stories. And I tell my stories because I really hope that those of you can resonate and relate to it. It helps you to understand that you're not alone in this process, you're not alone in this journey. And like I said, we all have a vice, we're all addicted to something, whether it's food to help you to feel better about your body, or even starving yourself to try and lose weight, or because you're already skinny, or whatever it is. Psychologically, your thought pattern and your thought process might think that eating more or starving yourself more is going to help you to feel better. It's also a form of an addiction. And people are addicted to things like sex, whatever that is. Maybe you're addicted to sex, because it's a form of instant gratification. When people orgasm, they feel great, they feel pleasure, they feel passion, they feel arousal. But just as quickly as you're aroused, you turn around and you're just like ready to go to sleep, right? So you come down off it anyway. And that's why people keep needing that hit. They keep needing to access that pleasure. Pornography as well, it kind of like numbs your brain, it lowers your vibration, it makes you feel instant gratification. But then as soon as it's done, some people even feel guilty and shameful about it, about their porn addictions. So again, it takes you back into that cycle where once you start to feel that shame and that guilt, you need to do it again in order to make yourself feel better and get that high, get that rise. Some people smoke cigarettes because it helps them to feel like it lowers their stress levels for that period of time. But then once they go back into their office, they're like, oh shit, I need to go for another smoke, right? So then it becomes like a constant, you needing it to help yourself feel better and help yourself relieve your stress. Some people turn to drugs, psychedelics, because it gives them that high. Again, once you come back down off it, then you're seeking for it again. You might be addicted to relationships, addicted to needing someone to always give you that validation and need someone to always be there and to approve of you. Sorry guys, I'm using my other phone today. Don't mind the earphones, by the way. I'm listening to some healing frequencies for myself, so I like to have them in the background sometimes. And you might be addicted to, again, like having someone there, whether you care about them or not, whether you're in love with them or not, whether they're serving a purpose or not. Even if they're abusive, you might even be addicted to being abused. And so you stay in these situations that don't serve you. You just feel like you need something or someone outside of yourself in order to make yourself feel better. And on a really core soul level, on a very, deep spiritual level, when we start to look at this and we start to address this, it always comes down to the same thing, fam. It always comes down to the fact that once we come onto this earth and we get that spiritual amnesia and we forget who we are on a soul level, and our soul has been repressed. The sun's going down as I'm saying this. So our light, when it gets repressed, when it gets shoved under, then the human spirit feels suffocated. It feels depressed. It needs the deep rest because it's no longer functioning in alignment with its true source energy. And source energy is literally the source of everything, the source of life, the source of prana, the source of high vibrations, the source of healing. And so when we're deprived of that, we try to look for that source in other things to find that feeling. And in truth, all we need to do is come back and align with the self, align with our own source, align with our north node, align with who we're destined to be, align with our truth and our integrity and our authenticity. And because most of the time we're shoved outside of that and we're told to be anything and everything but that, then you become depressed. Then you start to feel like you're anxious, you're stressed. Anxiety comes to the surface because we're not being our authentic selves, because we're not being in a state of unconditional love. And unconditional love, fam, it literally is having that unconditional love for self. Before you can unconditionally love the world, you have to unconditionally love your inner self, your inner world, your world. You are your world. because you are the creator, the director, and the producer of your existence, of your reality, of everything that's happening in your surroundings, in your experience. And so unconditional love, it's really about maintaining your alignment so that no matter what's happening around you, no matter what office environment you're in, people are, you've got 10 people, toxic people, narcissistic people around you screaming, yelling, being dramatic, gossiping, whatever, drama, creating drama. But you're just there and you're like, doing your own thing because you're in alignment. That's what unconditional love is. It's when you can maintain your center, maintain your balance, maintain your own sense of source, maintain your light, no matter what's happening around you, whether the sun's going down, whether the sun's coming up, whether it's raining, storming, hailing. The other day it was storming on a hot day and it was really cloudy, but I went outside, I had my music on, and I was just dancing in the rain. I loved it. I loved it, and I was so connected to my source. And in those moments you realize it doesn't matter if it's rain, hail, or shine. It's all about being aligned. So that's what true unconditional love is. When you can maintain that alignment, then you won't need to turn to anything outside of yourself, because your source energy is so much more powerful. It's not instant gratification, it's eternal gratitude. It's internal and eternal gratification. So it's just like a constant stream of high vibrational flowing energy, and you know this because when you're in alignment with your source energy, everything in the universe starts to work for you. The entire world starts to shape around you. The butterflies are flying around you, the birds and the bees are coming to you, the right trees in front of you at the right time, you bump into the right person at the right time, you come across the right video at the right time. Like I said in my abandonment video, we're never truly abandoned. We're all in this together, and it's just about aligning to your truth and telling the universe, like, universe, this is what I want. I need to heal from this right now. Please show it up to me in my experience somehow, and then just surrender it. Surrender it to the Most High, and you will come across it. You will align with it automatically, because you're not out here trying to find it and hoard it and hold on to it and desperate for it. You're just saying, you know what, this is what I need right now, and I know I need this, and I acknowledge that I need this, so I'm putting it out there, and it's going to come to me, and it's going to align with me when I'm truly ready to receive it. And so I hope that this video reaches you when you're truly ready to receive it. You may need to come back and do these codes a few times, because I can definitely say that along my journey of healing addictions, I had to do it a couple of times, you know what I'm saying? Addictions, codependency, things like that really have these strongholds that have been really deeply and heavily programmed into us, and that we've just accepted as a norm. It takes a little while for us to release the energetic charge that attracts those things to us, that keeps us going back into those repetitive cycles. And it's fine, fam. We've all been there. It's okay. It's just part of the experience. And when we can be kind to ourselves, humble to ourselves first, have humility with ourselves first. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. When we can give that to ourselves, we give that to everybody unconditionally. We give it freely because we're free. So my intention for this light language is to help to free and liberate all of us, anybody that comes across this video, from all forms of addictions, any attachments and codependency that you have to anything outside of yourself, anything that it may be. You know what it is, so you set your own intention. And different stages in your life, you might find different things pop up. So it might have been sugar back then, later on it might be maybe you're addicted to YouTube videos. I don't know, maybe you're addicted to social media, maybe you're addicted to scrolling or things like that. Just be real with yourself. Nobody else needs to know about it anyway. As long as you can be real with yourself, that's where the healing process really begins. It's like that saying where true transformation begins when we get tired of our own bullshit. So whenever you get tired of your own bullshit, come back to this, and we're going to get rid of that bullshit. We're just going to move it, we're going to cleanse it, we're going to allow it to move through our bodies, we're going to allow ourselves to release it, and we're going to open up to receiving everything that is in alignment with our highest and greatest good, where we do not need anything outside of self, but we are connected to source, so everything outside of self is connected to us. We become part of unity consciousness. We become part of unconditional love. We become one. Forgive yourself. Forgive yourself, fam. You've done nothing wrong. Take your time with this healing. Take your time with this process. Allow it. And know that you're never alone. We've all experienced this. We're all on this planet to learn, grow, expand and evolve. And now you've come to this space where you're ready to really expand, fly beyond where you have been, see things that you've never seen, and liberate yourself. So with that said, fam, we're going to begin this light language transmission. I'll invite you to bring your palms to your heart center. You can either place them on your heart or in front of you, whatever feels best for you. And I'll just say that this particular mudra, Anjali Mudra, it's all of your energy centers coming together as one. That's why very often this is prayer position, because it's really coming into center and balance and alignment with your higher self, your north node, your truth on all levels, from all aspects of self, your multidimensionality in the here and now. Take a deep breath in, and we set the intention to heal, release, cleanse, purify, liberate and free ourselves from any and all addictions, attachments and codependency that is no longer serving to the highest good of ourselves and the highest good of all. As we do this healing on ourselves, we are providing this healing to all of existence. As we raise our own vibration, we are allowing all of humanity to be raised into their greatest versions and highest selves. We are allowing ourselves to embody our highest self, our multidimensional aspects, our truth, our authenticity, and be in alignment with our integrity. Let's begin. Hiriana toko oriate singiata toko intarata sherara la kotunyu. Allow this energy to move through your body and flow out of your energy centers, out of your arms, your feet, chakras. Any suppressed and repressed energies, anywhere where your spirit has been oppressed, anywhere where your soul has been depressed, anywhere where you felt like you needed to seek outwardly for your source of validation, anywhere where you seeked externally for your source of approval and gratification. You are now able to be grateful for your own existence, your own mind, body and soul connection. You are special and unique. So embrace this. Beloved, you are loved. trukutis nyaratata trushjeratate anyaratateschu. You are always approved of trukutishje and validated simply because you exist. You would not be here at this time. If you were not loved by the divine, acknowledge this, accept this, and embrace yourself on all levels, mind, body, spirit, soul. Allow yourself to be liberated from the pain. You no longer need to carry this pain. Your trauma was a learning lesson. It was an experience that is being had so that you can grow and align more fully to your core soul frequency and the divine. Opening up now to receive freedom and liberation on all levels. Opening up the heart to unconditional love for self and therefore all others. Realigning to your true frequency. Harmony, balance, oneness, unity, to all aspects of multidimensional self. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done, and so it is. Oh, those codes were coming in quicker than I could get it out. So I hope this healing finds you when you are ready to receive it. And my deepest intention is that it helps to free and liberate you from all attachments, codependency, and addictions that have served their purpose, and where you have learnt from them, because it's important that we learn what we need to learn from those addictions. They are a resource, in a way, to help us to become more of who we truly are. So be grateful for them. Be grateful. I'm grateful for the sugar, man. That was good times. Good times eating all those lollies and cookies. Good times. So I'm grateful that I had the opportunity to drag it out for that long before the candy eater was like, all right, you've had enough, mate. Time to slow it down. Time to bring yourself into balance and alignment. Take care, guys. Stay blessed. Stay high vibing. I will see you guys in my next video.